Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it is that you're watching this. It's episode 47, two dudes talking some really cool. Um, Man, Curry, a fun topic today. We're talking about the stall, not the bathroom stall, not the stall when you're cooking a brisket. God, get your mind out of the gutter, people. We're talking about the stall that happens in your business when you get going. Let's say you get some momentum out there, and this is a real thing, guys. This has happened to me. I know it's happened to Curry. It happens to almost every successful network marketer. At some point, your business will stall out, and you might even start going backwards. You might start losing people. You might start being like, "Hey, we haven't." Our team hasn't really grown much in the last month or whatever. What the heck is going on? Curry, I know this is a topic that is, we said it before we hit record. This happens to everybody. What comes to your mind when you think about that point in the business? And the crazy part is this could be a month in for people. This could be a couple months in for people. This could be a year in for people. What do you typically recommend when something like this happens?
Well, let's make sure that we set the awareness of that there has to be levels of expectations in your business.
Hmm.
And here's the problem. You personally are never going to be the do-it-all guy, girl, every single day. You're going to take your foot off the gas and you're going to go into management mode. And
Hmm.
then your efforts stop. And so as your team starts seeing this and they see that you slow down, they slow down.
Hmm.
And they are going to get to a point where, too many of them decide that they want to go into management mode too, and so you have to learn to manage your expectations along this journey in business because it happens in every brick and mortar business. It happens in every regular in a home-based business. It happens if you take your foot off the gas, why do you expect the business isn't going to slow down? Why do you expect it if you're not going at a steady pace instead of all in, it's like you have to maintain levels of effort. And dude, I think the solution is always going to be new blood.
Hmm.
And we'll talk about that as we get going. But yeah, I think people have to learn to manage their expect, and we should do an entire podcast on managing expectations because
Hmm.
that's along the way, it's
Maybe
more
when you're
important.
here. Yeah, talk about
Yeah,
that.
we'll think about that.
And by the way, guys, like, comment, subscribe. If you're new to the channel, go ahead, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell icon. You'll get notified. It's a cool little doodad that YouTube has. You get notified anytime we put out new content, which is pretty often because we're pretty, wait for it, consistent. Said it. We got it in the beginning of the episode. We didn't have to wait till the end.
Didn't wait.
Um, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind when I think about like when you're if you stall, um, two words: keep going. All right, that's it. Thanks. We'll see you on the next
Next.
episode. Episode 48. Here we go. Um, yeah, it's trust me, I've had, gosh, I don't even know how many conversations over the years when this happens to people in their teams and their business. And sometimes it's in people's own personal productivity, and sometimes it's team growth. And I've had countless conversations with people. A lot of times I've had, and this is where it gets, I guess we could say, very real because I've had this conversation, the the stall conversation with the same person, who, by the way, is still going. Um, so sometimes people just kind of need that. You gotta pick them up. You gotta dust them off. You gotta be like, hey, listen, you made it this far. You can keep going. And well, we've said this before. The solution is and always will be go find more people, and that's
Show more people.
and that's really it. But I do want to talk about this for a minute because I think this sub subject here can kind of get weaved into this because I think it's a real thing. Um, I know for me, I've experienced this. I've seen other people experience this. When you're building your business on social media algorithms and stuff like that very much goes in waves. An algorithm thing can get changed. Your content, 1 minute, like let's take TikTok for example here. 1 minute, you're pumping out 10,000 views a video and you're rocking and things are great, or 1,000 views a video, and it's like your your business, your thing, your company is getting attention. You're getting sales, right? And then something changes, and then all of a sudden now you're getting 100 to 200 views, and like, man, like I was last week I was making a bunch of sales, and now this week I'm not making any sales, and you feel like you're plateauing, you're leveling out, or you might even be going backwards, and you're like, what the heck is going on? That I've seen that stall happen, oh God, more times than I can count. More times than I can count. And the solution there is keep going. And I know it sounds really basic and simple, but it is. And for me, I've experienced this social wave over the years more times than I can count. I've seen it on Facebook, I've seen it on YouTube, I've seen it on TikTok where you're pumping out content and it's like your engagement just goes whoosh, way down. Sometimes you get hit by the Facebook community police and they're like, "Oh, hey, we're going to restrict your account for safety." Like, come on. Um,
I
but
want to
I've
know
always,
whose safety is it really? That's what I
my
want to
my
know.
neighbors. Yeah, no, I don't know, dude. I got nothing on that one. Um, I've always found when this happens, the solution is to pump out more content instead of peeling back, being like, "Oh, it's just not working. I'll quit and I'll just go work a job." Like, it's just not working. So you keep going, you keep pushing, and no matter what platform you're on, whether it's TikTok, Facebook, or whatever, it takes one piece of content to take off, and you're right back in the mix. And I've seen that on all the platforms. I've seen that on TikTok or Facebook. Let's talk about that for a second because I got put into Facebook jail where they were restricting my views or whatever, but I had a video take off during that time frame, and that got all my videos much more attention. It made me all that much more sales. So the only way to get through these moments is to keep pushing, go find more people, create more content. Maybe even, Curry, I don't know what you think about this, but maybe even be wherever your content's at, maybe be a little more aggressive with your content. If you're doing, make money online stuff, or if you're talking business for your network marketing opportunity, maybe be a little more aggressive and try to push the boundaries a little more to get a little more attention and maybe kind of push yourself out of that stall.
I think number one, people have to figure out. Like I talked to a guy on today. I saw his post, and he was like, I wish I got that kind of attention." And I go to his profile, and he has, 900 followers. He's been in this game for years. He's never his posts are erratic, and I'm like, dude, these people who are getting these views, they are literally building their network every day.
Mm-hmm.
Their network's growing into the thousands and thousands, and you've been in this game for so long, and you're stuck where you are because you're not doing things consistently. And so, but the bigger problem is for the stall. It's like you're in a network marketing company. You it's never going to just be about your effort. It's going to be about the leveraged effort of your team.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not getting your team to understand their role in building their leverage and they get stuck, it's just this massive game of helping people learn to help people, learn to help people, learn to help people. And when somebody goes, well, I've helped enough, or I'm not making any money and quit, yes, I've lost entire teams of thousands and thousands of people because a leader decides to get shiny object syndrome
Mm-hmm.
and go check the next thing and takes part of my whole team. And now I got to rebuild a leg of business.
Yep.
And
That's happened to me.
it's going to happen to every
Mm-hmm.
person. It's just the
And it's
way
going to
that
happen again.
It's right. And so my expectations are so set now that I don't even think about it. If I lose something, we'll just go put more people in. And it's like I go through my waves of seeing the team rising and then to drop and then a team rise and then a drop.
Hmm.
And if you look at any company, uh, the analysis of their business, you'll see that no business is a steady climb. Every single company, even with all the sales, have this rise and fall, and then rise and then fall, and then a rise and a fall, and a rise and a fall. And eventually it either completely plateaus and it just stays steady. And this is our income now, and this is where we're going to live at. You look at a company like an Herbalife or uh, what's the other big one? Amway.
Hmm.
And they have balanced across the world that they're about a $5 billion to $7 billion company for the last 5 or 6 years now. Like they have got to a huge plateau, and I don't think they're complaining. I don't think they're complaining about being billion-dollar companies, not $10 million company or $100 million company. They are multiple billion-dollar companies, and that's just the way it's going to be. So you have to, once you understand it as a person who is trying to become a leader, you don't get frustrated anymore about it. You're just going through what you know you have to do. And it just makes your biz if you know these things, it makes your build so much peaceful. I mean, you're just peaceful about it. Okay, next, let's keep going.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Mm.
mean, if you look at there's a perfect example right here. Um, I'm on Business for Home website right now, and they have the momentum ranks, which hopefully many of you guys are familiar with. If not, it's a cool website to go check out. And you could look at any business and you could see, how that company has grown over the years. The number one ranked company right now for momentum went through a phase where it was almost a 3 year stall where they were climbing up and then they plateaued for like 3 years and then they started going up again. And I can pretty much guarantee you what that was. Just like with content, when you're in that stall or when you feel like you're stuck there, it takes one piece of content to get things moving again. That's it. That's all it takes. So keep going. Go create that. Same thing in business. Same thing with you and your network and your downline. It takes one person. We used to have this as a logo across the top of our Facebook page. All it takes is one. Like it takes one person to blow up your downline. One. And if you find that person, like if you found a Curry or, if you found someone that could literally bring in thousands of people, think about what that would do for your business, And it's the same thing for these companies here. It takes one leader to come in and change the course of a company. One, all it takes is one influencer, someone that has a network, someone that can be like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna go do this." And that's going to change the course of a company's history. And it's the same, like it's just on a smaller scale. It's the same thing for your team. So, if you're sit there and you're stalled out and you just feel like you're getting nowhere, maybe your content's not reaching, maybe whatever is happening in your business and you just can't get through that part, like go find more people, like start pushing. If it were me, and I was kind of having this similar conversation with one of my leaders over the weekend, which is kind of what led to this topic right here is like and it was a great reference point for me because I've been working with this person for years and years and years. And I kind of said, "Hey, remember when?" Because they were being like, they're like, "Yeah, I'm like sales are good, but it's like I'm not like really going at the rate I want." And I was basically like, "Hey, remember in May of 2023? This is a real date too. So remember in May of 2023, remember what you did that month?" And that was their biggest month ever. They made literally, it was like 59 and a half, almost $60,000 in a single month. I said, remember what you did that month? I'm like, you went berserk. You went crazy. You were going live every single day. You were putting out like 5 to 10 videos a day. You were messaging people. You literally gave it your all. And you had the best like 6 month stretch I've ever seen. It was unbelievable. And right now, you're like that you were here of like executing and just giving it what you got. And now you're like here. So, and you're coming to be being like, "Hey, I'm not here. I'm here." And I'm like, "I know. So what are you going to do about it?" You know what I mean? And I think most of the time people I think they Curry, I think people know the answer to go do more, but sometimes they need that kick in the ass, that little like dude, just go freaking put more content out. Like go do the thing. You don't need to ask
It's
me. We don't need to be having this conversation.
I think that there's a lot of people, including myself. I mean, I'm in a place where, I work nonstop, but at the same time, uh, in aspects of my position in life, I enjoy now relaxing more than I do working. And so the idea of jumping back into a heavy build period is like, do I really need to do this? Am I too comfortable where I'm at? And so it's like I get that conversation, like, because it's like having that with a mentor, having it with a business partner is incredibly uh revealing of where you're at. But we, every single one of us, become complacent and comfortable where we get to, and you just don't feel the need to chase more. Like
Mhm.
I love the situations that I'm in, and I'm just like happy that I can go do what I want to do, live how I want to live. Nobody's bugging me, nobody's asking me for anything, and I'm happy. So but am I at the place where I'd like to reach 50,000 a month, 60,000 a month, 100,000 a month, but to do that is a 10x effort on where I'm at now. And
Mhm.
so, by the way, I didn't want to really go into this today, but I think it was a good segue for what we were talking about finding more people. I've been brought up in this industry with some really, really good leaders, and one of those leaders, a couple of leaders, used to promote this idea of flipping cards and finding aces, finding these four cards in a deck to build that will literally change your life and your business. And it
Mhm.
becomes this game of how fast you can flip through the deck of cards to find the aces. And the problem is that you have to understand you're literally enrolling people to find those aces. And
Mhm.
there's 52 cards in a deck, and every single card that you pull up, the first one might be a 7. And you have to understand that that person is going to be a 7. They're not going to be an ace. They're not, you can't spend more time with them trying to make them an ace. You're literally looking for aces.
Mhm.
But too many people go into that management mode where they're flipping cards and they get a 2, a 4, a 7, a 2, a
Mhm.
jack shows up and he's doing all right. He's a 20 percenter. He's doing real good. And then you just leave that jack alone and you go keep going. You find a 3, a 5, a 9, and all these cards. And you're, along the way, you get discouraged because you're like, I can't find an ace.
Yep.
And and the funny part is you're not going fast enough and putting enough people in to find the aces, because as you're in month 2 and you've enrolled 2 people this month, the next month in month 3, 2 people have dropped out already. And so you're just like the deck's restarted and you're just like, well, let's go find more 2s and 3s. And those are the quality of people that you're showing. And it's like, why would they launch with you? So the flipping cards analogy has been one of the things that has driven me to find leaders.
Yeah, and it just ties back to the solution is and always will be go find more people, you know? And I've said that line, I don't know how many hundreds or maybe even thousands of times to my teams over the years. It's you see everybody go through it, the stall. And like I said, sometimes it'll happen to somebody and could be in their first 30 days. It could be, they get a couple of sales and then a week later or a month later, like they're not making any sales and they get defeated and they're like, oh, it's not working anymore. And they quit. Everyone's going to go through it in some way, shape, or form, whether you're a big, massive leader and you have thousands of people on your team, or, you're just starting out and you get stuck and you can't find the wherewithal to keep moving forward and to keep going. But it's gonna happen. And the question is, the old saying in life, it's not what happens to you, it's what you do about it. But again, there couldn't be any more truth to that. And I feel like sometimes, Curry, a lot of what we talk about in these episodes, it's like it's so blatantly obvious on what the solution is and what people need to do. But I think sometimes people need to hear it multiple times, or sometimes they just, like the card analogy, they need to hear it a different way. They need to visualize it or see it a different way. Um,
Do you think that
yeah.
people don't they really get stuck in what to do, even not just that they got to do it, but it's like, okay, I got to do it. And the Art Williams just do it thing just pops in my head. And
Mhm.
they're like, almost over the hill. I'm almost here.
Yeah.
I'm doing this. And he's just like, well, great, go do it. And
Yeah.
then there's a lot of people who live in the do what? What is it that you actually want me to do? And it's like, should I be? And I really, here's where I really love my brain at times. When you ask your upline, should I be? The answer is always yes. I have never once in my life heard somebody go, should I be making more messages? Should I be talking to more people? Should I be
Mhm.
creating more videos? Should I be? Yes, all of that and
Yeah.
more. Like, and more.
Yeah.
So, uh, dude, I think there's a lot of times in these situations that it's more about they aren't needing to be told that they need to show more people. They need to be told what to show more people so that they feel like they have a job. Because everybody's stuck in employee mode for
Yeah.
years.
Yep. Yeah. No, and there's a couple of different phrases out there that you could relate to this where it's like if you treat this like a job, it will pay you like a job, or if you treat this like a business, it will pay you like a business. And that's 1,000,000% accurate. So if you show up to this, however you show up to your job, if you clock in and out, if your salary, you probably have to go to a physical location. Some of you guys might work from home, but either way, like you essentially clock in, you perform specific tasks, and then you clock out. This is the It's the same exact concept. But the biggest challenge people face is your organization, your team, you know, your productivity, your team's productivity. You may not be clocking in and out and performing the tasks that you need to be performing on a consistent enough basis, and therefore the stall happens. So, you certainly could trace it all the way back to productivity for yourself, productivity for your team. And I think, Curry, you said it before going into management mode. I think management mode is needed, especially when you get to a certain level of your business. When you have a big enough team, you do need to start managing certain things. Managing expectations is one of them. Managing, you know,
Number one.
all of those things. But if you get too comfortable in management mode, and you're not producing and you're not actively showing that you're out there building and you get too comfy, I think that can be detrimental in the long run because like you said earlier, like people will see that and they'll be like, well, he's not doing as much or she's not doing as much or whatever. I'm gonna kick back too, you know? Um,
I love the phrase speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. It is wild. It's wild.
Yep. Yeah. Because yeah,
So
if everyone goes into management, and I again the same the same leader that I referenced earlier, where 1 month they were going crazy, and then now they're down here being like, yeah, I want more. I'm like, but you're not doing more. You know what I mean? Like that same person, like I saw them go into management mode where they they were in several different chat groups on Facebook, and I was in several of these chat groups just to kind of be a fly on the wall, so to speak. And it was like every day they were going in there and telling all their team members, "Hey, go do this. Hey, go do this. Hey, go do this." And I'm like, and I'm literally watching this in real time, and I'm like, "You're telling people to go all do all this stuff." I'm like, "But you're not doing it yourself. What's up with that?" You know? And that for me was a sign of like it's like you're kind of like a boss where you just want people to go out and do all the work, and you're going to sit back in the nice comfy office in management mode, and that's not going to build, that's not going to grow, because it may work for like little bits and spurts and periods of time where people might go run out and do what you say because you're knowledgeable, you've achieved certain things. But eventually people are going to be like, well, hey, this person's telling me to go do all the stuff, but I don't see them doing it. It'd be like if I told my team, hey, you want to be doing at least 3 short form videos a day, a YouTube video a week, this, and this, and this. And then if I wasn't doing that myself, like or I haven't done that, like who the hell am I to just tell people what to do? I think
I think hold on before you don't I think there's a lot of people who might blast past this. Number one, if you've done it, you're providing the blueprint for other people to get where you are.
for sure.
So if you can show people that you did it to get here, and then they aren't going to duplicate the stuff you did so that they can get to where you are, so that they can teach their people to do what they did, so that those people can get to where they are, and those people can teach. It's this, you have to have had gone through it, made the content, made the effort to duplicate as a management mode. If you believe, this is something I deal with every single day. I get these people in my team who want to be in management mode. They'll come to me with dumb questions all the time that are like, Curry, I got team members that are asking these questions, and I'm like, answer them. You've been around long enough to know that if you don't tell them the answer, they're not going to tell the answer to their downline.
Hmm.
You, if you aren't ready to be a leader, stop acting like one. If you're not ready to step into leadership, don't act like one. You should be in recruit mode. You should be building until you are able to duplicate what it is that you've done to get where you are to the next group. I love a blitz. I love a
Hmm.
blitz more than anything else. Eric Worre has talked about this. It's like the time that you grow your business the most is in a 90-day burst where you literally go all in. You tell your family, look, for the next 90 days, I'm going to be missing some dinners. I'm going to miss church service. I'm going to miss a softball game. I'm going to miss whatever
Hmm.
for this short period of time this season to take this business to the next level. And then the crazy part is most people get done with their blitz and they don't plug the people who they signed up in the blitz to start their blitz immediately so
Hmm.
that the continuation of this 90-day blitz happens. And then because you then go, the next 90 days is management mode to help those people, enroll people, close people, work those people, and then you do another blitz another 90 days after that. It's like take 3 months, relax, do what you got to do, work with your team, and then go do it again. And then
Yep.
it's like this rotation. Dude, a blitz is the most powerful thing in your team. If you literally plug in for a solid every day, don't miss a day, run in hard, dude, it's crazy.
Hmm. Yep. And yeah, that's where, like you said, you see stalls when I've seen this so many times. There's so many people I could reference where this happens. It's like they have those big bursts of 90 days where just like crazy activity, and then that ends, and it's like all these thousands of people that you bring in, and they're all hanging around like, what do I do? And then those people will start to dwindle and fade off, and then all that momentum you got from the blitz just it kind of goes like this. You're like, hey, we just brought thousands of people in a few months ago, and our team's shrinking, or I feel like we're losing momentum, or we're not seeing a lot of people producing. It's like, yeah, because you were the one doing most of the producing. All these people you just brought in, what are they doing now? They're sitting on their butts, like waiting to be led. So go lead them. you know, it's
I love that in my life. I am very, very known for getting really excited about something, going all in, and then it'll be over. I am really like, dude, I was one of my favorite moments ever. I wanted to bench press 300 pounds. Like that was my goal. And I'm working out with my powerlifting father and brother, and they are professional powerlifters, have traveled, done, have world records. So they were pushing me to achieve this goal. Every day I was in the gym, I was working different muscle groups, I was doing what I was supposed to do. They were literally driving me. And we got to the point in a very short period of time, less than 90 days, and I benched 335 twice. No, I'm sorry, 355 two times. And literally, I walked out the gym and never went back to the gym again. I have not, I mean, it was like I finished this goal and then I didn't set the next goal. And I
yep,
think this is where people in these moments, it's like, okay, I want to hit this rank, and I get to this rank and I'm doing really good at this rank and I'm making money. And then it's like, okay, what's next?
hmm
And maybe you've reached the top rank in your company and you feel like, well, there's no more, there's no additional rank. So why am I going to go chase another level? But the reality is start another position, do it again. Like
yeah.
what is it that you're limiting yourself on? I mean, most companies aren't going to be upset if you go build another leg of business. I've never once seen somebody go, well, you can't get to the top of the company and then start another position. We don't want you to enroll more people. We don't want you to build more income from this team of people that I've never seen that. I've seen people own every company I've been in, have people have built multiple legs of business.
I think some of this is going to boil down to um, there's aspects of mindset, and I know we didn't say the C word here, but there's aspects of mindset that can be absolutely weaved into this. It's not just the physical doing, and I've seen this over the years. I can think of one person in particular where um, they built a huge team, um, incredible producer, but also a pretty good leader as well. And they built up to a 5 figure monthly income. They were making anywhere between 10 to 12,000 a month, which in network marketing is phenomenal. 5 figure monthly income. And then they lost everything. And then they had to do it again. And they went and they did it again. Um, then they lost everything again. And then they had to build it up
Do it again.
and then they had to build it up a third time. And they started building a third time. And at one point they were like, I'm just, I don't see the joy in it. Like, I just can't, I don't know if I could just do this again, again. And it's once you have that taste of like, hey, it's possible. Because, for me, I remember having the conversations with this person. I was just like, listen, I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, you got to do what makes you happy. You got to do what brings you joy. Um, but you know what it's like. You experienced it. And I can tell you when you were in that moment, when you were in that time frame, like you were traveling, you were home with your kid, you were, you were experiencing really amazing joy. Um, but to get back to that moment, they didn't have it in them to go make that climb again. Like, and they knew this. They knew the climb would be worth it if they did it, but they didn't have enough, you know,
Why? They didn't have enough why to do
yeah,
it. That's
they didn't
it's
have
the
enough
why.
to climb again. And it like I can look and I can see them now and I'm just like, and they're working a normal job. Um, Back to just ordinary life before network marketing. And I'm just like, and I know, and it's this is the part of being a leader that sucks. Like when you see someone and you know they have it in them, but they don't have it in themselves. And that right there is one of the hardest things as a leader because I wish I could just like fly to where they are and like give them a big hug and be like, I got you. Like I'll run with you. You can do this. But like they got to have it themselves. And if they don't have it, you can't force it on them. You can't, you can't push them to do it. They got to want to push themselves. And obviously they got to a point where it's like, they're just like, I can't do it anymore. And it's going to happen again. And it's
Dude,
sad.
it's always going to be where one pain is worth more than another pain.
Hmm.
And I listened to the story that you just told, and the average this family, this man, woman, whatever, uh has chosen the pain of getting up every single day, going to a job, getting home, resetting, getting up the next day, doing this consistently requirement of the demands of their boss for a paycheck, which is where everybody is programmed to be. And that's why it's easy to fall back to that. And it's like you don't have the discomfort of building weighs more than the discomfort of doing this consistent action. And until this day to day life sucks the life out of your brain and it becomes more painful, then this one is like, okay, now we got to go do this again.
Hmm.
And because they've tasted it, they'll eventually get there. But right now, it's just like, it's easier to, dude. I live in this world. I truly have a struggle mentally often that it would be easier to be poor. Like it would be easier to just go back to living a mediocre life and just having a little and living day to day and doing stuff. But I saw and tasted tens of thousands of dollars a month and know it's possible. And the concept of going and being less is way more painful
Hmm.
than the effort that I'm putting in. And so I know this balance, and it's
Hmm.
like I'm trying to shift my balance to, okay, I'm making this amount of money. How uncomfortable do I need to get to make this amount of money?
Hmm.
And it's like that's my game for me. And it's not that I'm chasing money, I'm chasing the score on a board. Like the money's just a score, man.
Hmm.
It's not, I don't need more. I got enough. But if it's possible, what else do I got to do? And
Yeah.
I want that on my tombstone. Whoever types out my tombstone, what else did he have to do? That's I just live by that, man. It's like I don't got it. What else I got to do? I got
Yeah.
nothing else.
For me, it's a number that I've always chased is team size. And it goes without saying that
Yeah.
obviously, like the bigger your team is, the more you're going to make. Duh, obviously, right? But like for me, I always chase team size, no matter what I'm in. It doesn't matter if I'm in a binary or a matrix or a unilevel for comp plans. It doesn't matter. It's this, for me, it's that satisfaction of the overall number. And then as soon as it, it just resets. As soon as I hit one number, it's like, ah, oh, cool. And you live in that moment for like half a second. And then you're like,
Right.
okay, what's the next one? And you're constantly moving the goalposts, constantly. But that for me is it's such a dumb, stupid, simple thing that pushes me, but it keeps pushing me forward. And I remember like in so many companies, like when I get started and I get moving and then I hit my first 100, I was like, ah, okay, cool. There's three, three digits in my team size. And then you get to four digits, right? And then it's five digits, like, whoa, like it's that constant chasing of the digits. And it kind of sounds dumb to say out loud, but it's like that's the thing that makes me it's just like that. And I have a little, you can't see it, but I have this dry erase board over here that's on the ground. I don't even hang it on the wall because I'm constantly taking it down and making changes to it. And I don't feel like screwing it into the wall because we haven't painted this room yet. And it's the one wall where I don't have stuff hanging on the walls. Anyway, long story. So I keep taking it and I making changes to it and I write on it and whatever. But I'm constantly moving the goalposts. And I can tell you this, and Curry, I'm pretty sure you'll agree with me on this one, but like when you're chasing, when you achieve a certain thing, and I think most people that give up, they don't want to do that climb. Most people that have reached the top and experienced whatever success is, whether it's 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month, whatever the number is for you, the number is kind of irrelevant, but like once you've experienced it, it's really hard to say no moving forward. It's hard to go back. It's hard to be like let's say your company collapses or you lose a leg or whatever it is, and it's like once you've tasted it, like you want it again, And I've only seen very, very few people, the story I shared with you earlier, where it's like someone just they just don't have it in them to do it again. Um, but most people will go get it again once they've experienced it.
As a matter of fact, I think that most people who have experienced it and then go try to get it again usually get there even faster
Yeah,
because
it gets easier.
it's not that it even becomes easier. Mentally, it's easier. It's the same task. If you're at day one and you're at day 7,000, the task doesn't change. It's show more people.
Hmm.
You just are way more comfortable with hearing the word no. You're way more comfortable with running numbers
You're more
faster.
skilled.
You develop skills, you develop a callus on your soul, you develop a callus on all of it. And by the way, you talking about the chase of those numbers isn't silly. That's the game. It's like
Yeah.
finding something that drives you to have. I, I'm guilty, very, very guilty of not celebrating successes. Like I'll run through things and not even pay attention to that I hit a rank or hit a thing or celebrate because it's just like that's not what drives me. I'm not driven by these moments. I'm
Hmm.
driven by how much more can I if it's possible, can I just keep going? And somebody said something to me yesterday because I've had a pretty hard week this last week, and in that, it's like the only thing I can think about is I'm just going to go work harder and keep focusing on what I can control
Hmm.
versus sit around and be miserable or be sad or depressed. I'm going to go keep doing what it is that I do, and I don't. Somebody said something about you're just going to burn out, and I'm like I don't know what burnout is. I've never in my life experienced a lack of joy in doing the thing.
Hmm.
Like when you know that this is what you got to do and this is what I love doing, how do you get burnt out on doing what you love to do? It's the same thing over and over and over, and it's like, okay, that's all I got to do. I'm just going to go do that.
Hmm. Yeah, and if it's bringing you joy, you're not burning out. I mean, that's fairly obvious, right?
Dude, if you look at your back office of any company and you're not filled with joy watching your team size grow, watching your deposits, watching a new person take off and get a new their first customer or their second, or they hit a rank. If you're not overjoyed by the processes of it, this ain't for you anyway. This ain't for you. Go back to being an employee where you can find joy in getting a phone call or answering a text or sending an email where you feel like you are adding to the bottom line of a company. Go do that.
Yep.
Because if you aren't excited to watch your team members win, get the crap out of here. This is not the podcast for you.
Yeah. I was literally just thinking along those lines. Like one of the things that I love, like love, 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 it brings me a boatload of joy is I look in the back office and I look at my bottom line numbers, total team size, that's my number every day. And I love when I can look today as an example and I look and I hit refresh and that it just I do it in I look in terms of percentage, like what percent did we go up from yesterday? It might be 10, it might be 100, it might be 1,000, but what percent did we go up from yesterday? And then every now and then you'll see a big spike and you'll be like, ooh, what just happened yesterday? And then it's like, I go, ooh, I get all excited. And then I dig down and then I go through and I'm like, ooh, this person just popped in 20 people. And then I'll dig down and I'll be like, hey, Billy Bob, Susie Q, whatever you are, like, I just saw that you popped in 20 people today. Awesome job. Way to go.
Congrats.
I'm here if you need anything. Keep up the great work. Like, who doesn't love those moments? If you don't love those moments, again, yeah, no, you have no zero right being a network marketing professional, but man, like those are the best. And like I'll leave them a voicemail and just be like, "Hey, I just want to say you're freaking kicking ass, taking names. Like you're doing great." Like, and sometimes the messages that I get back when I do that, they're like, "Oh my God, thank you so much for reaching out to me. You have no idea how much that means." And I can feel or I can actually hear if they leave me a voicemail, I can hear the joy coming through. And it's like, those are the moments. Those are the moments
And,
right there. Like,
and leaders miss this. A lot of leaders miss this, that people die for recognition. They die for it. They don't get it in their life. They don't get recognition for what
yep.
they do in their daily life. And so somebody messaging, calling, saying congrats, saying
Mm-hmm.
thank you, saying whatever, recognition is always, always
Mm-hmm.
more powerful than running a financial incentive. There's a
Was it
few people.
trying to think what book it was from. I don't know if it was out of Think and Grow Rich or if it was out of like Stephen Covey, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, but there was a chapter in there, there was a segment paragraph in one of the chapters where they talked about where people love hearing their name. Um, I forget what book, but it was referenced along the line of recognition. And when you meet people, when you speak their name, like people love to hear their name. And, when you reach out to someone as a leader and you reach out and you're like, hey, Billy Bob, hey, Susie Q, amazing job. You know, they don't need they might not need the certificate to hang on their wall that say that, hey, they hit a certain rank. That stuff's cool. But when you can reach out to them and you can recognize them for doing what they just did, man, that goes a long way. A long way. Yeah.
It's part of it, man. And when you're trying when you get in those stuck moments, and you're in that plateau, you just have to go dig deeper, find that team that's running with you, find out where everybody is and what their goals are, and find out what their why is and what's driving them. And then it's like, okay, let's find another ditch to dig, and let's go do it again. We got another. I have a lot of stupid analogies that are related to the life that I have been privileged to be in. And I grew up with plumbing family members. My grandpa owned a plumbing business. My other grandpa owned a portable toilet business. So I've been around crap my whole life. I have been in the crap business, but I also grew up with the idea that these men in my life have dug a lot of ditches and have
Hmm.
dug them with shovels. They've dug them with backhoes. They've put their effort into this, and it never occurred to me that at the end of a day, and they accomplished a job, a task that they had to do, that they didn't have the intention to wake up the next day and go do it again.
Hmm.
They didn't have the intention of that was my final job. That's the last time I'm ever going to dig a ditch and lay a pipe and, watch crap flow down into a sewer. They woke up every day to run their business and get the job done and then help other people along the way and solve their problems. And I think that there's part of me that might have that instilled in me why I'm a problem solver is because I grew up with people with my grandparents literally solving people's crappy problems, and that's all I grew up seeing. So, there's part this stuff keeps unlocking in my life. Why am I the way I am?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's funny. I kind of look at, I don't know, I haven't actually figured this out, but when I look at like my mom was a nurse her whole life. Um, she was very much, she started out as being, just a nurse and being bossed around, and she worked her way up to, she was kind of like a lot of the ER shows that you see, like a charge nurse. She was in charge of a lot of people. And my dad, gosh, my dad just had so many random jobs over the years. And most of the time, I didn't know really what he did because we didn't really speak all that much until later in life. Um, but I had already developed into a network marketer. So I'd have to look at like, I don't know. My mom taught me a lot of values about just like, I saw single mom, kind of just figuring it out. She would literally figure life out and figure out like how to get the bills paid, how to, raise a kid, how to do all these things. And I think that kind of instilled in me like figure it out, dude. Like if your mom could do it, so could you. And, kind of a, everybody has like a little bit of a backstory, but man, you gotta go figure it out, guys. And the cool part is it can be figured out because other people are out there doing it. Other people are out there hitting those numbers, hitting those milestones, hitting those accomplishments, hitting those ranks. So can you. So can you. You just got to get through whatever. If you're in a funk, maybe this was your episode. Maybe you watch this and you're like, man, I'm in that stall. Step out of the stall. Now I'm picturing a bathroom stall in crappy situations. That's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, I think we should give an assignment today. You should go rewatch the Art Williams Just Do It video today. Like that video is overwhelmingly true. It's overwhelmingly true.
I will, I have it. I will link it into the description here when, yeah, when we do that. And I'll even have, since ChatGPT is listening and helping us create the title and description and keywords for this video, and even the thumbnail, you probably saw a really cool thumbnail when you clicked on this video, all created by ChatGPT because we use AI because we're smart, we're wicked smart. That's the Boston coming out in me. But I will put that in the description down below and even have a little blurb about make sure you watch this. But yeah, man, Curry, I think is a fantastic episode. 47. Is that where we're on? Yeah, we're on 47. Man, dude, in a little while, we're gonna be getting together in person.
We are. Yep.
You guys are gonna see an episode or two. We're probably gonna film a couple of things while we're here, and we're gonna pick a cool location. We're gonna do some filming and probably have some drinks, eat some good food, and yeah, life is good. All right, my friend,
Sounds good,
guys.
man.
If you made it to this point, we appreciate you. If you haven't already, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell icon, get notified when we put stuff out, and we're just here trying to help you guys out and trying to get you guys to go do the thing. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care.